Welcome back, everybody. I'm really happy to welcome Jason Gates with me from the US. He is the CEO and co-founder of Compology. They are the leading company in AI-powered metering of waste and recycling. They've got a few nice solutions for that, but I don't want to tell you too much about that. Jason, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Hello, everybody.
Perfect. Yeah, we will go into the presentation right now, and afterwards we will have a few more minutes for some Q&A live, of course, for you. So just tune in, ask your questions you've got. I believe that should be on your right as well. There should be a little panel called questions where you can get them in. We would love to have you and have fun with the presentation.
Hi, I'm Jason Gates, co-founder and CEO at Compology. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about Waste Management 4.0 and the technology that is powering waste metering using artificial intelligence. During this presentation, I'd like to give a brief introduction about what we do at Compology, talk about the state of waste, given my perspective in North America, talk about some of the operational challenges that we see, and then we'll dive into waste metering and what that means for your business, the technology that powers it, and then talk about a very unique opportunity to partner with Compology. We started Compology about 8 years ago with a simple mission to move the world's raw materials, finished goods, and waste with the smallest footprint possible. Today, we have product lines that span waste and recycling, over-the-road trucking, and ocean shipping. But today, we want to focus the conversation on the efficiency and sustainability that our technology can provide to waste haulers and producers. We work across the United States, Canada, and Mexico with brands like Google, McDonald's, RealPage, Waste Management, and many others. In North America, we have about 160,000 dumpsters that we monitor, which has given us over 60 million data points over the last several years. We noticed some really interesting trends with what's going on. The first is that the average fullness at collection of a dumpster is 46%. 30% of all collection events have some form of contamination in them. 10% of pickups that are scheduled never occur. And across the United States, we have a 50% average diversion rate. While some of these numbers are more impressive than others, we see some real challenges across the industry. The first is that waste collection operations remain highly expensive and inefficient. The second is that waste and recycling is distributed with no single source of truth. As a producer with multiple facilities, how are you supposed to know what's going on at each one from a central location? And the third is that consumers are starting to favor businesses who value environmental stewardship and sustainability. And as a producer, what can you do to appeal to that customer base? All of these reasons are why Compology created waste metering. For decades, we've been able to track how much water, electricity, and gas we use, but we've never been able to tell how much waste we produce. By being able to measure how much waste and recycling we are producing at the site of production, it enables three key benefits. The first is we're able to reduce costs. Our technology has helped businesses across North America reduce their spend on waste and recycling by over 30%, by right-sizing service levels and eliminating fines from overflows and contamination. The second is being able to hold waste haulers accountable by proactively identifying missed pickup events and using images to verify what's happening in any type of dispute. The third is around implementing sustainability. Historically, we've never been able to accurately measure how much waste and recycling we're producing. But by using data-driven methods, we can baseline and meet our zero waste and diversion goals while simultaneously reducing our carbon footprint. So let's dig into how the technology actually works. Waste metering using image-based artificial intelligence. The first step is we install cameras inside each waste and recycling dumpster that's taking pictures on a periodic basis throughout the day. We're capturing 4 key data points about the inside of those containers: the fullness, the content, when service has occurred, and where that container is located so we can associate it with the right producer. We take all of that information and, using artificial intelligence, automatically develop actionable recommendations for producers to be able to cut costs, improve hauler accountability, and improve their sustainability practices. This is a picture of one of the cameras that Compology makes and installs in front-load dumpsters. It's the 13th generation of our camera, so it's been battle tested out in the field and has a 5-year battery life, so you can really just set it and forget it. These are actual pictures from the inside of containers. The picture all the way on the left is showing an empty container. The picture in the middle shows a container that's 25% full, where our artificial intelligence is automatically determining that fullness level. And the picture on the far right shows as the container continues to fill, we're updating that fullness level automatically. Similarly, picture on the left shows contamination being added inside a recycling container. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner of that image, there's a chair that our technology is able to highlight and count for producers. Identifying what's inside the containers enables them to take action. We track the location of each container, tying the container to the producer that's associated with. And we track activity, so you can see a feed of what's happening with your containers in real time. Things that we would highlight are when service is missed, when service happens, and when contamination is added. Those data points all come together into powerful recommendations that help to increase the fullness of each container at pickup by automatically right-sizing service levels and reducing contamination over time by delivering highly targeted education to producers based on what's actually going into their containers. You can access these recommendations from Compology in 3 ways. The first is through our web-based interface. The second is through tailored reporting that our team works with our clients on to build specifically for their business operations. And the third is through robust APIs that enable anybody's current tools to be powered by Compology. So let's talk about the technology in action. I'd like to share a case study with ADT Security, who's able to save over $1,500 per container per year by implementing Compology. To talk more specifically about how they implemented and the results they saw, I'd love to show you a quick video of ADT telling their own story.
In the old days, we would have to wear headlamps and go dumpster diving just to prove that we knew how full the containers were. Well, our new way of doing things is using Compology and remote monitoring technology. It allows us to dumpster dive anytime we want.
We have over 200 locations in the United States, and we employ over 20,000 employees. In a lot of cases, you tend to overestimate. I need this giant dumpster, I need this huge garage, I need this huge closet, because you're not being efficient in your operations. You're not understanding exactly what your true needs are. Compology takes the mystery out of it. Their right sizing figures out what your needs are for you so that you don't have to. The way I describe it is you've got a camera inside a dumpster that's monitoring the waste.
And we look and see how full are the containers, what are their busiest days of the week. We can focus in on the exact service days to set the schedule for the customer. We don't have to guess. We've got terrific data, history, and proof that the service that we're going to recommend can work.
The sites that we've launched Compology, we've saved about 53%. We have an annual savings of about $110,000, which is absolutely tremendous. Compology is a sustainability solution that actually works. We publish an annual environmental governance and sustainability report, and we use this to share with our shareholders what we're doing relative to reducing waste. Through this initiative, we were able to reduce our carbon emissions by 15 metric tons across a year. It's about 6,700 miles. So think of a trash truck driving across the United States and back. That's what we've reduced. A lot of us have kids. I've got kids, and we are what we protect. And focusing on reducing our carbon footprint makes it better for our children and our children's children. That's the right thing to do.
If you share the common vision of being able to reduce our footprint on the environment, we'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to reach out if you have any ideas about partnership or starting to build relationships. Thank you for joining us. I'd love to address any questions that you have.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for that presentation. I'm really interested to hear more about your solution, what you're doing with that, and yeah, all the attendants, you are free to ask any questions you might have regarding their solution. You can just use the question function here with GoToWebinar. We've got the first one coming in here on the right. Thank you for that one. And it's specifically, you talked about becoming a partner. Could you maybe tell us a little bit more about the process a business would go through to partner with you to get use out of Compology?
To partner with Compology, we really feel like there needs to be mutual benefit. And we get excited about the opportunity of moving our business from just operating in North America to one that operates globally. So we are looking for partners who share our vision of being able to improve the efficiency and sustainability of the industry, as well as want to help work with us to develop a plan and execute on moving our operations to one that is global. So we will have one-on-one conversations with prospective partners and evaluate those different points.
Well, perfect. So just get in contact with you, and then we'll see how that can go. Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Can you tell us a little bit more? The other question coming in here is on your technology. Can you measure weight as well with the cameras, or how does that work? Do you only operate on volume? Or how is that working?
The measurement that we take is for volume, but on the back end, we're also able to associate what types of material are going inside that container. We use average densities for those materials to estimate the weight. And while we found that it's not perfect, it's far more accurate than the current methods of estimating. Today in the United States, I'm not sure how it's done in Europe, but in the United States, the way that we estimate is we assume that the container is full every time it's collected. So 8 cubic yards, an 8 cubic yard container that is picked up 3 times per week is 24 cubic yards of material. But we know based on our data that on average, the containers are picked up when they're 46% full. So we take the actual fullness level at each collection event and multiply it by the proper density to estimate the weight.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for that. Then the other one coming in here I've got is about the contaminations you mentioned you mentioned a little bit about it, that you can detect different materials, of course. How does that work? What is possible with that? Can you tell us a little bit more about how that might work?
We use the same images from the inside of the containers that we use to automatically determine the fullness to automatically count the number of items of contamination. We've assessed the material streams in the United States and developed 7 different categories of contamination. An example of a category would be styrofoam, bulky items such as pallets or tires, furniture, or electronic waste.
Mm-hmm.
And within each category, there's a library of different types of materials, everything from TVs to tires, styrofoam food containers, more specific examples. Our technology is trained to identify those specific material types. And through each fill cycle of the container, we count effectively layer by layer as the container fills up to be able to present an accurate number for the amount of contamination in the container at that time.
Mm-hmm. So if at some point I get a contamination alert, it already tells me what kind of contamination I've got, and so I could send someone out to empty it and of course clear out the contamination. Or how would that work?
The notifications are paired up with when the next service event for that container is set to occur. So we know which containers have contamination in them today and are going to be serviced tomorrow. And we make sure that the notifications are highly targeted. So you're focused on the containers that need the attention today and not the container that may need the attention a week from now.
Perfect.
The
All right.
notifications can come through text message directly from us to a facilities manager or someone who's at each site, as well as be pushed through our APIs. So if there is a tool that you use already to distribute work orders or have a facilities team take action, the notification to remove the contamination can come through that tool as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, sure, I understand. Nice. Another question coming in, you've talked a little bit about, of course, economical savings for the companies using Compology, as well as savings in carbon emission. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you calculate that and where does that come from?
In the United States, the way that the waste contracts are structured are such that you pay by the collection event. And what we're able to do is automatically adjust the number of collection events, the days of the week that they occur, so forth, to match the actual waste production from a specific location. So by reducing the number of service events, we're able to reduce the cost. The savings number that we present is across portfolios of containers. So in the case with ADT that we talked about today, not every dumpster requires a change in service. But by identifying the containers that are being over-serviced and correcting that, you can see a savings portfolio-wide.
All right, yeah, I understand. Perfect. So of course, it's depending on the locations you've got, but I think then there are a lot of nice possibilities for that. I've got another question coming in here. It tells, it's about the whole installation process of the cameras, and a little bit about privacy regarding that as well. Do you have some experiences on that? First, maybe what is the process? We've talked a little bit about partnering with you. How would that work? Would you come to my house and put a camera in my bin, or what would we do there?
Our technology is designed specifically for commercial and industrial waste collection. So it's very unlikely that we would be coming to a residential location.
All right.
For installation, it requires no professional training and can be done with some basic hand tools. It takes between 5 and 10 minutes per container to install each camera by drilling a couple small holes in the side of the container and bolting it on using security-headed mounting hardware. From a privacy perspective, we take data and privacy very, very seriously. We are only taking pictures of the inside of dumpsters, and from some of the images that I shared during the presentation, you can see the field of view. You can't see what's going on outside the dumpster. You can only see what's inside it. And then the data that we collect is treated very, very cautiously. And we've met the security standards of many defense contractors and banks in the United States who are our current customers.
All right. Yeah, perfect. Oh, all right. That seems to be nice. You are a US-based company. We've got people here at the convention from all over the world: Asia, Europe, Australia, America, of course. Do you have some international experience already? Can you tell us? Could you ship worldwide, or how would that work internationally?
Yeah, today we're not shipping internationally yet, and the reason why is because we want to be very focused and deliberate with our international expansion. So rather than ship cameras all over the world and not be able to support those installations properly, we want to partner with companies that understand the local needs, the local contract structures, and can serve as a partner to Compology in that transition to move internationally, so that we can provide the best quality experience for the end customer.
Perfect. So what are you looking for in a partner specifically? Can you tell me more about that? What kind of company would that be?
A good partner for Compology is one who understands the market locally that we're looking to move into. And so that might be on a country by country basis, that might be for an entire continent, but it's a partner with well-established operations who is interested in investing their time and resources in partnering with Compology, with a shared vision that through the partnership, they would be able to expand their business, develop maybe a recurring revenue stream, and maybe there's some type of reciprocating relationship where we can help them move into the United States.
Perfect. Yeah, well, thank you. All right, that's all. I've got no more questions coming in from the chat right now, Jason. Thank you already so much for the presentation, for the information you could give us on your product. I'm sure there will be people who are very interested. Do you have your contact data again for us? Then I would get that into the chat, and I'm sure on your website it will be found as well.
Yes, the best way to get in touch with us at Compology is through the contact form on our website, compology.com.
Compology.com, all right. Sending that
or
to
you
the
can
chat
find us
right
on social media, on Twitter or LinkedIn with the handle @Compology.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. There's one last question coming in, but I'm not sure if that's meant so realistic. But it's about whether you ever found a body inside one of the bins with your cameras or any other not so likely some not so likely, how do you say, contaminations to the trash. But I'm sure you didn't. Thank you for.
Well, I can answer that question.
Would you be able to detect one?
We have, and there are in the U.S. It is unfortunate, but many homeless people sleep in containers, and so to help with public safety, what Compology does is we work with our customers to identify when there might be a person inside a container, to notify the driver before they service the container.
Of course.
And that's something that we've done very successfully. And the other application is for a lot of retail locations. They want to protect against dumpster divers that might be coming in to take merchandise that they're throwing away or something like that. And we can help notify when that activity is occurring.
Perfect. All right. So that funny question at first actually has very intelligent solutions on your side behind it. Both, of course, very, very necessary. Thank you for opening my eyes on that point. Sure, especially homelessness, you have to know, and yeah, when there's camera already in there, it can save lives with that as well. Thank you for that. Jason, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. The last words are yours, of course. Are there is there anything you want to give us as well?
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. Take care.
Perfect. Jason, have a nice day. Stay safe in California, and yeah, hear from you again some other time. Bye bye.